There's so many problems with what's going on with the Haitian refugees at the southern U.S. border in Texas that I can't help but speak on it. Number one, the U.S. has a long-standing history of racist immigration policies where it comes to Haitians. So we see that in 1981, President Reagan ordered the U.S. Coast Guard to intercept any Haitian boats on the high seas and return them to Haiti. Then we saw in the early 90s, Bush did exactly the same thing. And although Clinton promised on the campaign trail that he would end that policy, as soon as he was elected, he did what? Said that that policy would continue. And now in 2021, we see Biden taking that same racist immigration policy to the next level by actually flying the Haitians to Haiti. But another significant problem with what Biden is doing is that many of the Haitians that he's flying so-called back to Haiti didn't come from Haiti in the first place. They were in Central and South America, and they had been there for years. And so now you're sending them back to a politically unstable country that has recently been further destabilized by the assassination of their president, not to mention that it has been totally devastated by multiple hurricanes, all of which, in my humble opinion, amounts to a total fiasco. And which also points out that the effectiveness of voting, which is something that Black Americans are always going on about, is questionable. Because Black folk ran to the polls to elect both Clinton and Biden, both of whom have merely continued the racist immigration policies. And then we have Kamala Harris saying that she's appalled by what's going on with the Haitian refugees, and she supports exactly what's going to happen, which is a thorough investigation.
What I saw depicted about those individuals on horseback treating human beings the way they were is horrible, and I fully support what is happening right now, which is a thorough investigation into exactly what is going on there. But human beings should never be treated that way, and I'm deeply troubled about it, and I'll also be talking with Secretary Mayor.
Total political BS, because we don't need an investigation to see that what's going on is highly problematic. And what this really points out to me is that Black Americans still have a lot of work to do, because despite all of our so-called economic power, the wealth that has been acquired by famous and even not so famous Black Americans, as well as the political power, such as the first Black vice president, the mayors, the lieutenant governors, and so forth across the country, we are powerless to ensure that we, in this country as Black people, receive fair treatment. We are powerless to ensure that our country treats other Blacks fairly, such as the Haitian refugees, and that is something that we really need to think about and we need to address. It's critical to our continued survival that we figure out a way to harness our economic and political power in order to use it to ensure fair treatment of domestic and foreign Blacks by this country. That's just my opinion. What's yours?